Well, hey guys, what is up? What's going on out there today? It is Brent Abel here at webtennis.com. Day number 24 of the January 2021 31-day reboot physical. Let's get fitter. Let's get quicker. Let's get endurance. Let's drop those pounds. Let's shed the weight. Let's better sleep. A whole bunch of things we should be doing during this month of January. At least starting to build the habits during January of 2021 so that what the heck, maybe we keep them going, right? And that could be diet, that could be supplements, that could be exercise. Well, it's all those things. It is diet, it's supplementing, it's exercise, it's mindset, it's a bunch of different stuff. And look, today what I want to talk about today is, I think I titled it "The Death Grip on Life." And look, if you're on my web tennis channel at all, you've heard me talk frequently about the need to relax grip tension, grip pressure. Certainly when we are, when we're going through stroke technique. I mean, if we want to get better natural racket speed to create more power, to create a higher quality spin, whether it's a top spin or a side spin or an underspin, we need to not bring the death grip into the program. And look, one of the reasons, and I don't care how great, if you're a tennis player, I don't know how great your technique is. If you've got the classic death grip on the great technique, if you haven't already, you are setting yourself up for some kind of a serious injury, right? Could be wrist, could be golfer's elbow, right? The inside of the elbow, could be tennis elbow, the outside of the elbow, could be shoulder, could be back, could be a whole bunch of different body parts by just squeezing too tightly. Got a funny story to tell you before we get over to our notes, because there's some other things I want to talk about besides just tennis in terms of the death grip. But God, this must have been a solid 25 years ago. I was teaching on a private court in Northern California, and I had a group of 4 guys, and these were all good players. These were all like 4.5 players, guys who could play well, and they were all competing in tournaments. And so I can't remember how I found this thing, but it was a golf training aid, and it was a thin little thing that you would slide over the handle, the grip of the golf club, and it was already kind of had a default measure on it. But what it did is if you squeeze too tightly on the golf club, is that the thing would start beeping. It would make an audible sound you could hear, and it was a grip pressure, some kind of grip pressure monitor was wrapped up inside this thing. Well, I bought one just wondering, well, maybe I could put this on a tennis racket, and so I got one, and sure enough, it fit perfect on a tennis racket handle. I would love to find them again because it's the greatest feedback of all time in terms of, are you bringing too much grip pressure in tennis? And so this one day I had it, and I put it on this one guy's racket, and we're all standing there at the net, and so one guy goes back to the other side, and then this guy with this monitor on his racket goes back to the other side, and just before the other guy would make contact, you could hear the thing beeping, meaning that he was starting to put too much grip tension on the racket even before that guy started to make contact. And every time he would make contact, and everyone did this, every time he'd make contact, because of the concussion, the thing would beep anyway. So that one we didn't care about. Then another guy came back after hitting a few balls. After hitting a few balls, another guy, we put it on his racket, and he was pretty good because he'd learned from the first guy that, well, gosh, I got to be relaxing my grip. And so he did a good job with that. And there were a couple times in there where you could hear it going, where you just, it just didn't need it. So finally we put it on this friend of mine's racket, who shall remain nameless, but just a great human being. Anyway, we put it on his racket, and we're all standing there at the net post. And he walks away to go back to the baseline and starts beeping. I mean, he's maybe 10 feet away from us, and it starts beeping. And he stops and goes, I go, David, come on, man. Yeah. So Anyway, with him, it was great feedback to let him know that, man, you've been playing the game way too tight. One of the things I've always thought, and this is probably, I should be doing this more for a tennis discussion rather than a fitness discussion, but I've always thought that I would love to marry some kind of a grip pressure monitor on the racket along with video, and be able to monitor the different levels of grip tension, grip pressure throughout a set on someone, right? And what we would see on the video replay, it would be some kind of a graph showing that, well, you know, on his forehand, he's bringing way more grip pressure than he is on his backhand. On his second serve, he's bringing way too much grip pressure, not getting enough racket speed. And by the way, at the end of a set, there's more grip pressure than there was on average in the beginning of the set. So I'm just throwing that out there. If you're a smarty pants and can come up with that product for me, get in touch with me. We'll partner up on it and help save the tennis world. And I got to believe with golf too, it'd be the same thing. Maybe the first couple of holes, you're pretty relaxed. And by the time you start getting deeper and deeper into the 18, maybe not so much. Anyway, so let me go over to, I probably lost everyone so far. Let me go over to this one, our notes that we're building throughout the month of January. And, you know, if this is your first day with us, look, I asked everyone on January 1st, what's one thing you can eliminate for the next 31 days? Listed out 10 things here. There may be an 11th thing that you can come up with that would be good for you based on what you normally do. That might be great to give it up for 31 days. My wife, Mai, and I are doing the kind of the classic dry January. We're giving up alcohol for the month of January. Not that we're big drinkers, but why not? You know, if we're doing a beer or two a day, let's go ahead and not do it for the month of January. So that's what we're doing. You might find something else. And to kind of build some habits, what you might find at the end of 31 days, at the end of January, meaning come February 1st, you might go, you know what, I feel so much better because I've dropped that one thing out of my diet for a month. I feel better. I don't want to go back to it. So let's go for a second month and try it again and then see how you're feeling. So look, guys, we've been building up notes every day. Today's the 24th. We'll get to that. And if you want a copy of these at the end of the month, just let me know. Direct message me over at Facebook, or you can send me an email, brent@webtennis.com. So today is the 24th, right? And here's what I've got for you today. I want you to be thinking about the death grip, right? And the death grip is a term we use in tennis, probably golf as well. I'm sure there's other sports that kind of refer to squeezing the racket, the club, the whatever it is, the baseball bat, I don't know, maybe something else, but just too tightly, right? And what it does in tennis, obviously it slows down the swing. You're just muscling the ball, but it also sets you up for injuries. Again, it could be tennis, could be golfer's elbow, could be something else. So tennis is one. What about driving, right? You're out there in the car and you're in traffic, and how often do we just clench the wheel and we're just kind of getting a little, maybe not ticked off or pissed, but we're just bringing some anxiety to our driving, and we're just clenching too tight on the wheel. What about in the computer with your mouse, right? I actually, for a long time, I don't use a desktop anymore. Everything's now off a laptop, and I don't use a mouse. But I used to have a mouse when I was using the desktop years ago, and I just found that I had to switch. Like one week I'd go righty with the mouse, the next week I'd go lefty, because I just brought too much tension into just, even if you're not squeezing the mouse, just the way you're kind of holding your arm. Check that. What about brushing your teeth? I know this sounds goofy. You know, last time I saw the dentist, said, hey, why don't you try brushing by just holding with just a couple of fingers rather than the whole hand and grinding, right? Just kind of hold it lightly with a couple of fingers. What about hand clenching? I mean, there's just times during the day where I think that we're sitting around or maybe talking to someone where all of a sudden you realize, my God, I have got tension in my hands. Just release them. I was talking to my wife, Mai, this morning, and I was talking to, she asked me, what's the topic today? And told her it was about bringing the death grip into, into different parts of our life. And she mentioned that she just read a article in the Wall Street Journal recently that said that, look, one thing to do is you can take your fist and just, ball your hands up into a fist, squeeze tightly, and just let everything release, right? It's like it's that squeeze ball that we have, right? So if you find yourself clenching, man, release on that, right? What else is out there that we could, that we could be aware of, that maybe we're bringing too much tension into our hands, and which ends up being the death grip on whatever that thing is. And you're setting yourself up for injuries right here, whether it's an elbow injury, whether it's a wrist injury, shoulder, all that stuff works down, right? Back injuries. So let's stop and we will go back to right here. There we are. We are back. So, yeah, William going with the billiards, very light grip. Like death grip on your opinion on a disagreement. Yeah, that's a good one right there. William saying that we get, and look, I mean, if you think about social media now and all of the division out there and all the divisive remarks and comments, and one side just hating on the other, and look, we can certainly disagree, but do we need to bring that much tension and that much death grip, as a metaphor into what we're disagreeing about? I don't think so. I mean, anyway, so that's a great one, William. Thank you. Guys, that's it for me today. Kind of a shorty. Well, maybe not 12 minutes. Anyway, would love to hear more about what you think about this episode today of our January 2021 Reboot. Let me know down below in the comments section, wherever you are, either on Facebook or YouTube. And look, anything else that, if you need a wingman to get through the rest of the month, or if you're just getting started and you'd like, some more ideas either on diet or supplements or exercise, let me know. You can just direct message me over at Facebook, or you can shoot me an email, brent@webtennis.com. Guys, with that said, got a rainy day. I'm looking up at San Jacinto's got a little snow up there last night. Beautiful. As soon as that cloud kind of clears, it'll be a beautiful day. But no tennis for sure for me today. So stationary bike, good 45-minute gusher on the bike. And then got to do a little Russian kettlebell swings and some other things for the core, and then some good stretching. And then football. 2 games today. God, do I love Sundays. All right, guys, it is time. Get out there today. Help someone else have a spectacular day. Guys, I will see you again tomorrow.